Namaste to all. A very interesting sutra from Kapil Muni's Sankhya Darshana. I'm actually traveling in a car, so if there are disturbances, sorry for that. But the sutra is very interesting. I didn't want to waste my time, so I wanted to make a video. Na swabhavato baddhasya moksha sadhano upadesha vidihi. Kapil Muni speaks about the dukkha. He speaks about the Trividi dukkha. He says that whatever you do in your life, whatever facilities you have in your life, whatever can happen in your life, you cannot come out of Trividi dukkha. You cannot fully destroy the Trividi dukkha. And the destruction of the dukkha is called as moksha. So while speaking these points, Kapil Muni comes to a point saying that na swabhavato baddhasya. The Jeevatma is not, by its nature, it's not in bondage. See, what is moksha? Moksha is absence of bondage. Moksha means mukti, being free. So moksha means the Jeevatma which attains moksha, it does not have any bondage, does not have any karma left to come into the human body. So Kapil says, na swabhavato baddhasya, the Jeevatma is not in bondage by its swabhav. Why? He gives a reason, because he says, Kapil Muni says, I feel the soul cannot be in bondage by its nature because moksha sadhana upadesha vidihi. Because we are seeing in Shastras, we are seeing in Vedas, we are seeing in Upanishads, we are seeing in other darshanas about moksha sadhana, about the upasana, about various kinds of ways to attain moksha. So if there is no moksha possible, then definitely there is no upadesh that is needed. So swabhavato na. So that means Kapil Muni says, I feel the soul is not in bondage. And further in the next sutra number 8, he clarifies, swabhavasya anapayitvat ana anushtana lakshanam apramanyam. Why? Very important. See the logic of Kapil Muni. Kapil Muni says, swabhav cannot be changed. If there is some swabhav by nature, it can never be changed. For example, he gives an example. He says that when you remove the heat, heat is the nature of Agni, fire. When you remove the heat, the fire cannot sustain. So when you remove the swabhav, the heat is the swabhav of fire. So when you remove the heat, the fire cannot burn. The fire cannot exist. Similarly, if the Jeevatma is in bondage, if you remove the bondage, the Jeevatma cannot exist. But Jeevatma is eternal, we know that. So Jeevatma cannot be in bondage eternally. Jeevatma's swarup is not bondage. He says, swabhavasya anapayitvat. When the swabhav is anapayitvat means destroy. When the swabhav gets destroyed, ana anushtana lakshanam. All the anushtana in the Vedas, the anushtana such as name jap, the anushtana such as yajna, such as ashtanga yoga tapasya, such as speaking truth, all these things apramanyam will become waste. Apraman ho jayega. So people have explained about moksha, about mukti in various granthas, and also Almighty God speaks about moksha. So Kapil Muni is coming to a conclusion that if the Jeevatma is in bondage eternally, then apramanyam, then all the scriptures will become apramana. See the kind of logic he uses. He clearly clarifies one point. The nature of any dravya can never be changed. And hold on, the Kapil Muni's disciple is a very intelligent person. Hold on. So Kapil Muni disciple will come to a very good point to counter Kapil Muni, which will come in the next sutra. But here Kapil Muni declares that this swabhav cannot be changed. If the swabhav changes, then the scriptures will become waste. If the Jeevatma is in bondage by its swabhav, then there is no use of Vedas, then there is no use of Shastras. Everything will become apramanyam. And in the next sutra further Kapil Muni says, na ashakya upadesha vidihi upadishte api anupadeshaha. See, here also very important, no Rishi Muni will waste his time to write books, to give advices to us to practice Dharma. Like example, many people ask a question that why Vyas Muni wrote Mahabharata, it's waste of time. Why somebody wrote Valmiki Ramayana, it's waste of time. So no Rishi Muni will do any activity for just waste. That's what he says. Anupadesh. The Upadesh will become Anupadesh. If a Rishi Muni is writing a Shastra, a Rishi is writing a Upanishad, it's not Anupadesh, it is Upadesh. It is useful for you. That is why the Rishi Muni is writing. So, na ashakyo upadesha vidihi. Ashakya Upadesh means impossibility. If something is impossible, then why somebody will waste his time to speak about it? Naturally, if something is impossible, like example, I say, okay, I am going to start a YouTube channel to teach all of you how to jump from earth to sun. Is it a possible activity? No, it is not possible. So it is an anupadesh. It's a waste of time. It's just time pass. So here Rishi says, Kapil Muni says, na ashakya upadesha vidihi. So what is not possible, a Rishi Muni will not upadesh. What is always possible, only a Rishi Muni will upadesh. Now the disciple, very, very intelligent disciple. See, this is how a disciple must be. Like, I envy such a disciple. Like, the disciple is putting a question to Kapil Muni to counter his argument. How intelligent is he? He says, and Kapil Muni is gracious enough to document that as a sutra. The sutra number 10 says, Shukla Pattavad Bijavachet. Shukla Pattavad Bijavachet. He says, Kapil Muni, you are saying that the swabhav, the nature cannot be changed. But I feel the nature can be changed. I feel very, very clearly that nature of any entity, any dravya can be changed by some nimit karana. He gives an example, Shukla Pattavad. Shukla Patt means white color cloth. Like a white color cloth, when you create circumstances to make it yellow, to make it brown, to make it orange, like when you create a suitable temperature in a water, you put some chemicals and then you dip the cloth in a particular fashion, the white cloth will convert into orange cloth or any other color, right? So he says, see, the swabhav of the cloth is white, but it is turned into yellow, it is turning into orange, it is turning into other colors. Similarly, he puts another argument, Bijavachet. Similarly, the swabhav of bij means seed. The seed is in the seed form, it is in swabhav form, but when you give a circumstance to the seed, when you put it in the ground, when you give it water, when the temperature is maintained clearly, the seed will sprout. The swabhav of the seed will change into sprout. So he gives a very, very clear counter argument to say, I feel, Acharya Kapilji, I feel the swabhav can be changed by suitable nimitta, even though the soul is in bondage. When you do tapasya, when you follow Vedas, when you do Shastras, when you adopt Shastras in your life, for sure the bondage will come out. So soul can be in bondage eternally. This is the argument by Kapil Muni's Shishya. So Kapil Muni is a genius. So here Kapil Muni gives a counter to his disciple. Kapil Muni says in the next sutra, you are right, but please understand, you are right, but you are not fully right. Shakti Udbhav Anu Udbhava Bhayam Na Shakya Upadesha. He is coming again to the point. You are saying that the white cloth is converting into other color. You are saying the seed is sprouting. All these things are okay. Sorry for the disturbance. Some phone call is coming. Okay, so all these are okay. But he says Shakti Udbhav Anu Udbhav. He speaks about two terms, Udbhav and Anu Udbhav. Udbhav means the nature. He is giving a counter argument. He says it is the nature of the white cloth to turn its color into orange color. When you create a suitable circumstances, it's in nature. It is not going against its nature. Similarly, the seed, when you give a suitable circumstances, it is in nature of the Udbhav and Anudbhav. It was in Anudbhav stage. It was not in manifested stage. But when you create a circumstance, the seed will get manifested into sprout. Similarly, when you create a circumstance, the white cloth will get converted into orange or any other color as you wish. So it is Udbhav and Anudbhav state. That means you can change the nature. You are not changing the nature of the cloth. It is the nature of the white color. It is the nature of the seed to get sprouted. It is not, you are not changing the nature. And he explains, when we understand it very deeply, we can also come to a conclusion that, see, moksha and bondage are opposite, whereas change of color is not opposite. Change of color is a part of its property. It can change the color. Can you change the color of black to orange? You cannot. Black color cloth cannot change into orange color, but white can change. So it's in swabhav. But here Kapil Muni is trying to explain that moksha and bondage are opposite. So if the soul is in bondage eternally, moksha is impossible, because moksha is completely opposite to bondage. Whereas in your case, it is because of the Shakti. Shakti means its own swabhav. The seed cannot be called as a seed if it is not sprouting. The reason why it is called as a seed itself is because it can sprout. So he is giving this logic in this sutra. He is trying to explain to the disciple, you must understand the concepts clearly. So the soul cannot be in bondage eternally. Soul's bondage is not its nature. So this is very, very important. And also in the next sutras, I will try to make more videos. See, Kapil Muni has a very analytical skill. He comes to he explains everything possible. Okay, why the soul is in bondage? The soul is in bondage due to this. No. This is not. Soul is not in bondage due to this. Then the Shishya says, no, due to this. He gives another reason. Kapil Muni will counter argue and explain to him, no. So he will negate everything. The powerful technique is negating the possibilities. When you negate everything which is not possible, finally something will remain. That is the real reason for soul's bondage. He will come in the next sutras, which I will make another video. So first here we must understand, see, a disciple has to ask questions to Acharya. But the question must be like this question. The counter argument to Acharya is extremely tough. Like, when I read this sutra, I was really stuck. I was saying, okay, what a genius Shishya he is. How convincing his point is. But again, the reply from Kapil Muni is further one more step ahead of that Shishya. So, Shakti Udbhav Anudbhav. The manifestation is Udbhav stage. Anudbhav is unmanifested state. The seed is unmanifested into, the sprout is already inside the seed, it is unmanifested. But when you give a proper circumstances, it will become sprout. Similarly, the white color cloth is in unmanifest state of color. When you give a proper circumstance, proper coloring, proper chemical technique, the white will convert into other colors. So this is the logic given by, and that's why he says, na ashakya upadesha. Hence, I tell you, my Shishya, that the upadesh of the Shastras is not apramanyam. It is possible. It is not that it is impossible. The soul is in bondage due to a very specific reason. It is not by its own nature. It is in bondage. And I will explain to you what is the reason. Kapil Muni explains in the further sutras. I will make you more, I'll make more videos to explain this. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.